It's another episode of the top 20 video game music voted by our Discord. Welcome. Today's category is Heaven or Hell. Please vote in the Twitch poll. This is from Command & Conquer Red Alert, Hell March. This is the second part of the song. We're going to be starting off our first user-submitted pick, submitted by Big Princey Boy. This is from Big Surprise, Shin Megami Tensei 4. The track is Battle C5. That was Prince's heavenly pick. Not what I originally would have thought we were going to hear. When I think of heaven, I think very soft and flighty, innocent, really delicate. This has a real kind of pounding piece. But like Prince says, this plays when you are, when you're murdering angels? That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you have come up to give judgment. It sounds like somebody in hell broke into heaven, and it's time to fucking pay, baby. Interesting track. I mean, musically, it's nice. It sounds like something really important is about to happen. It sounds like you're marching into the final boss. Really nice. Yeah, I like those constant drums, Rudy. Moving on to Prince's Hell track, also from Shin Megami Tensei, Nocturne. This is Beelzebub. Well, Prince likes to surprise. I don't know why I keep playing Prince songs right off the bat. It never sets the tone. It sets the tone for expect the unexpected. This is a it is a very nicely mixed track, that's for sure. I don't think of hell with this, but I can see where you get the hell from. This is almost like if you met Satan and he was trying to woo you in. If he was trying to say, I'm not that bad of a guy. Yeah, sure, I'm down in hell, but you got it all wrong. God put me down here. I didn't want to come down here. Oh, I mean, sure, it's hot and it's hellish, but I don't like being here. Sure, I've got to torture you and I got to pull off your eyelids for all eternity, but that's my job. I've got this skull on a stick. I got the skull and crossbones. We've all got a job to do. Your job was a lawyer. That's why you're down here in hell. Ironically, you were a Catholic priest. That's why you're down here in hell. You know what you did. A fun track. A very video gamey track. Lots going on. Really bustly. A nice mix of genres. Super video gamey. And a fun little kind of dancey stop-start. It would probably work well in like a very sort of like chaotic turn-based battle. Interesting. Prince has set us off on our third foot. Rudy's picks are up next. Will they be more in line with what I was thinking? Will they be more inside the box? Rudy's pick for Heaven is Shadow Hearts 2 Covenant, Evil Gate Opener, Arrival at the Stronghold. Remember all that there will be a test at the end. And if you fail, you go to hell. I'm afraid to ask if it's over. Oh! No joking around. Well, that was fucking intense. So that one we got heaven and hell, and then craziness, and then I was terrified all in one track. Very interesting approach. Excellent job, Rudy. Shadow Hearts 2. That was really intense. I had to put my headphones on so I could really hear everything to its most dynamics. Wow. What can you say about that? It goes to a lot of places. Not something you'd put on all the time to relax, but takes you definitely on a journey. Holy hell. Well, if the first couple people's picks were heavenly, it's now time for Leonot's pick. He has a hell pick, a heaven with a question mark, hell, heaven, hell. So let's go with this hell pick. This is from the Alan Wake soundtrack, Old Gods of Asgard, Children of the Elder God. Isn't Alan Wake just about a guy with a flashlight?
Warriors, torchbearers, come redeem our dreams. Shine a light upon this night above the worldly fiends. All is might be your guide, divulge you from their sin. Hammer's way will have it say, rise up in their name. Memory and thought, jet black and claw. Children of the elder God. Scourge of light upon the dark. Threatening egg, rake your claws and gnash your crooked teeth. You taking slaves like ocean waves, now feel the ocean sea. Father Thor, bless this war between the dark and light. In their songs, let their arms bring dissolution's night. Memory and thought.
That was pretty cool. Now, these are the same guys that made Medium, right? Because they did a similar trick. Sorry, I got to turn down the rock. They did a similar trick in the middle of Control, where there's like there's a cool puzzle you go through, and all of a sudden there's this incredible rock song that plays, and that's their deal. And it's a fun little way to break it up, because when you're playing a game for like 30, 40 hours or something, it's nice to have something that is a bit of a palate cleanser right in the middle that just kind of lets you break loose. Especially if Alan Wake is anything like what Remedy does with Control, it's probably full of a lot of lore and stuff that's constantly new information, right? So to just like say, fuck it, here's some rock music, let's go kill people or shine a flashlight at them. Or whatever you do in that game. Alan Wake is much more direct with the story, more cutscenes, less reading. He's for stupid people! Like me. Well, Leonot, that was a pretty good one. So let's play your heavenly pick. This is Hymn of the Fayth, The Sending, from Final Fantasy X Dream.
Io giuio
Wow, some incredible vocal performances. Final Fantasy had already been on a CD with 7, 8, and 9, but 10, they introduced the voice acting, like you heard there from Titus's voice actor. Really immersive. But probably them extending the budget and bringing in more and more performers, whether it's just like a violin on one track or, you know, trumpets and horns or a few strings or something, but to have these like really high-end choir opera singers, it just takes it that extra step. And the song it gives this song like a real importance and a weight. This would just sound really silly if it was, you know, done on an N64 or a cartridge and had to use the MIDI and do those sort of weird choir sounds that you would hear in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. But where Majora's Mask would use those choir sounds to sound evil and weird, because when they're MIDI and they're synthesized, they sound twisted. So you work with what you have, but in this, they could have the very best. This is actually on the Distant Worlds 3 soundtrack, so I don't know if this is an actual like remastered track. It could be. Claudio's first pick is a hell track. It is called Asylum from the game Heroes of Might and Magic 4. Yeah, I'll kill for you. Who? Who's gonna die? Well, this track really goes a lot of places. These tracks have turned out to be very, very complex. Almost all the ones that we've played. The beginning of this piece where there's so much tension, and then that first release is so bloody powerful. And it does have that a builder feel, like a SimCity type game where it feels like lots of little things are kind of working, boom, 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 but sort of rising above. Yeah, this feels definitely like a combination of heaven and hell. And I love that sort of... Prince loves the vocals. It sounds like you're in an evil toy factory where they make those dolls in the horror movies. Oh, nice track. Oh, that's heavenly. That's heavenly. The Heaven track that Claudio's picked is one of my favorite Heaven tracks as well. This is from Dragon Quest V. This is the remastered version that I believe came out on the PS2. One of the best remastered, reorchestrated JRPG tracks I've ever heard, the way that it completely elevates the original. What I like about this song is that it's got a real kind of heavy beauty to it. It feels like there's so much like love unfolding, like God brought out this giant box that looks like a cloud, opened it up, and pure, pillowy, soft love is slowly descending all around you. Could anything feel more like you have reached heaven and you don't have to worry about your feet hurting anymore? Also, you're dead. We have reached Chris Picks. His heaven pick is Pillars of Creation, Towers of Heaven. Nice track. It's interesting what makes it sound like somewhere you'd be living. Maybe sort of that constant hum underneath, almost like of traffic, and it definitely evokes like you're looking up. Maybe it's that high kind of, high up in the top. The melodies kind of feel like they're sort of reaching up, It's a very positive and uplifting chord progression. Happy overworld theme? Yeah. It sounds like you just got married to a Game Boy. I now pronounce you Man and Game Boy. You may now change the batteries. We now move on to Chris's Hell pick. This is Crossing the Styx. Styx with a Y and an X. Dante's Inferno. Are you ready to see a very PC game wallpaper? Oh yeah. Interesting track. Definitely is a track that works well with something visual to see. I'd imagine there's so much space in between the different hits. It's very heavy. It's all about the tone, the mood, the tension. And in this game you can see the devil's giant eggplant. He's a vegan and he tells everybody about it.
I'm saving the world, one eggplant at a time.
All right, let's double back.
I'll get your gadget.
With more Chris picks. This is a heaven pick. He thinks. Everlasting Hymn from The Binding of Isaac. If you're a real gamer, you'll have played Binding of Isaac. I haven't. Ooh. It's a really interesting track because it has a constant source of tension. And it doesn't seem to have any interest in letting that tension go. So I would call this a hell track. It sounds like you're being sort of sentenced to hell, and it is all but certain you are going to hell. I've never played Binding of Isaac. Like I said, I'm not a real gamer. But I do remember the few times tracks from this soundtrack come up. They're pretty damn good. This track is also a Chris pick. It is from Doom. The track is called Hellwalker. Doom 2016. Man, Mick Gordon definitely put his stamp on this franchise's soundtrack, where you hear this and you know what game it's from. Well, what era it's from, too. It's an interesting track because, again, it has a lot of tension that doesn't want to release. It has, it puts the kick drum on the offbeats. And it also has some other bits that are on the offbeat, too. So you're slowly, consistently moving forward, but there's these backbeat hits that just kind of make you seem kind of cautious. It's almost like you're lifting up and going on your tippy toes, or kind of like softly walking down and never really connecting with the ground. And like Chris is saying, a relentless march into hell, but you have the confidence now. Like, I guess this would play maybe near the end when you are maybe heading towards the boss to kick some ass. A great track, great track. Hey, do you like video games? Do you like Nintendo? Do you like Zelda? Do you like Majora's Mask? This is the last day in Majora's Mask. Claudio's Hell Pick. It's an interesting track because as it goes down, those first chords that kind of go dun 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 dun, you can basically do a minor version of the original Zelda theme over that, like bum da 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 dum ba da da dum ba dum da 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 dum da dum ba da da dum ba 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 bum. And then it's got a few chords that are like completely out of the box to really make you feel disturbed in this Majora's Mask world, where everything's sort of upside down and sort of tearing apart. I mean, this is the last day that the Earth will be there before the moon smashes into it and destroys everything you know of. That is a lot of heavy weight, and it does it without using like really any percussion or anything. It's almost like in just this descending of these soft synths. It's like a crushing, suffocating hopelessness to it. Fantastic. Claudio's second Heaven pick is from Final Fantasy XI, Heaven's Tower. Very slow piece. I'm sure it'll probably start building, but we don't have all day. The constant tick-tock of those, I don't know what you call them, they kind of sound like a wooden vibraphone, maybe? Sounds like a metronome, and then with the really slow, drawn-out synth pads and the slow melody, it makes it feel like the song is going really slow and that you're trying to go further than it. So it has a steady momentum, but it definitely feels very slow. And it does kind of have almost like an Asian feel to it, where the notes that are being hit, it's like they're sounding two notes at once. They almost sound kind of tuneless in a way, or like they're playing the tune to fifths or something. Don't worry, it's mostly like this. Thanks, Claudio. Yeah, you're in Heaven's Tower. This feels like you're almost meditating, or you're focusing on something, that you're being very present. The outside world can kind of tick-tock and block, 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 block all around you, but you're focused on this tower with that simple flute melody that feels like one long vertical line. Like an eggplant. Are you ready for some Kingdom Hearts? This is L'Oscurità dell'Ignoto, in brackets Xemnas, composed by Yoko Shimomura, from Kingdom Hearts 3 2.8 Unchained, lowercase x below the letter line, and union lower x, in brackets cross end of brackets. I don't even think we need to listen to it. I mean, you basically understand the song from everything I just said, right? So. What a great track. Yeah, I don't think it really fits the theme. Does it sound heavenly? I guess it sounds like everybody in heaven is riding winged horses, Pegasi, down to the depths of hell to find their keys. Another Leonard track. This is from Death Stranding, another one of the few games he pushes on everyone. Let's see how it sounds. One of the few original scored tracks from Death Stranding. Not a licensed soundtrack. I mean, you could see this one as a... It definitely has almost like a purgatory feel to it. It's peaceful. There's a sense of nothingness, of infinity. But it also feels like slightly unsettling. And that it's not really going to go any direction. Like you're not going up, you're not going down, you're just sort of going horizontal. Which definitely feels like an endless beach. An endless beach. Where a beach is only where dirt meets water. You don't really live at the beach, there are no houses. There might be a place that sells you hot dogs. But an endless, untouched beach. It's a transition point. The more you think about Kojima's games, the more they seem quite clever. And then he tends to do himself in by having a 4-hour ending. That just makes me want the game to be over. But then when I go back and think about it, it's all very clever. Coming up on the end here, this is a track from Rudy. It is his... I don't know if it's his heaven. Oh, it is. Yep, this is his heaven pick. From Xenogears, Fangs, Bared God. Oh, you're God, are you? Really interesting track. I've said that about 7. A heavenly track. Compelling rhythms. The vocal harmonies definitely have could sound like they could be in a Nier soundtrack or on the soundtrack for Akira or Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, Ghost in the Shell, actually. There's probably some kind of, maybe like a Japanese folk vocal harmony that they would use a lot. It's great. Simple. Tense. Kind of sounds like you're in almost like you're at like a Japanese market in the sky. You're in heaven. Would you like to buy some octopus? Rudy's last pick for today is from Baroque, available on the PS1 and Saturn if you have a Saturn and you'd like to buy some games. Baroque 205 Blue. Did any of those words make sense to you? Doesn't matter. The music does the talking. Well, that's a quick one. Pretty unique track. Has that sort of industrial late 90s guitar sound. An opening to a History Channel show about aliens. I like that sort of wow. It has a live performed sound to it. Like a band is setting up this big track. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of synth guys. A lot of dudes with shaved heads and soul patches. On the real History Channel, they're the ones that built the pyramids, man. Our last 2 tracks of the day, chosen by Prince. Somehow he gets to set the tone and end the tone. This is a track from Far Cry 5, Oh John, featuring Charlie Mountain, which means it's gonna have some lyrics.
Come brothers and come sisters, come weary and come strong. Come meet the man who reaps the land on which we walk upon. The time has come for judgment, but we ain't done nothing wrong. Join us so we all can sing along. Oh John, bold and brave. He's finding us a family, he's teaching us the faith. Oh John, keep us safe. He's gonna march us right through Eden's gate. Oh Lord, he's gonna march us right through Eden's gate. Come mothers and come fathers, come caring and come fierce. You gotta see this for yourself if you can't believe your ears. The blessing just takes minutes, but it lasts 1,000 years. In holy water there can be no tears. Oh John, bold and brave. He's finding us a family, he's teaching us the faith. Oh John, keep us safe. He's gonna march us right through Eden's gate. Oh Lord, he's gonna march us right through Eden's gate. Come elders and
marched us on through Eden's gate. Oh, John! What a romper stomper. We probably should have ended on that one, but we didn't. So now we should talk about it. That's pretty fun. That, to me, that doesn't sound like a real song created outside of a game. There's something about it that feels video gamey. You think it perfectly captures the exaggerated religious undertones? Yeah, it's definitely a throwback to old-timey Americana, rompin' stompin' acoustic instruments, sort of shouty vocals, some of the chords from simple religious stuff, folk stuff. It's pretty good. Very syrupy, very nice, very sunshiny. Our last track of the week, a Prince track. This is from Jammer Lammy, Vital Idol. It's going to play us out. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on the stream, we're going to choose a category for next week. Here is Taste of Teriyaki. Jammer Lammy.
Someone in a man that really understands everything and knows my fears. It might be you, or maybe you. My mind is jumping back and forth and up and down.